I have here the Saturnworks Micro 2 passive splitter summer combiner, which I'm using to connect to Boss foot switches to the Boss SD-2 Dual Overdrive. So it's not the purpose of this video, but if you're unfamiliar with this pedal, it basically has two modes. It has a crunch, pretty good tone there, and then there's also a lead. So those two, but then there's a third option where you can use a foot switch to toggle between the two modes, right? So I'm, I guess, 2/3 of the way there for what I'm trying to accomplish, which is to use the Saturnworks to toggle between the two modes. So that works. As you can see, green is the crunch and your red is your lead, and for the LED on the foot switch, that's just on or off. So that's doing the job. And then also the unlatching foot switch, right? You can just do some cool stutter effects. But what is not working right now, I don't know if it's possible, but to have it in the lead mode and be able to disable it so it goes back to the crunch. So this is my issue, what's not working. If I switch the polarity on the latching switch, it just switches over. That makes sense. The unlatching just goes back and forth. And now what's weird, once I switch the polarity on this, the latching switch is not doing its job. And the unlatching is only working when this guy is disengaged. So that is really strange. And let me just be sure and swap these connections. I don't think it matters on this Micro 2. I think it's the same, but just be sure. Yeah, swapping connections on the Saturnworks, there's no change. I did notice though, if you kind of finagle things just right, hold your tongue just right or whatever, with these polarity switches, when it's plugged in to where this jack is going to this foot switch and this jack is going to this foot switch, the LED on the SD2 kind of starts wigging out, and it doesn't really seem to do that. There we go. See that? What is... That's weird. Look at that. LEDs glowing in and out. And it doesn't seem to do that when you swap them. So for that reason, and because I'm using Trblshoot cut to length, it just makes more sense to have the right side go to the right side, left side go to the left side. So I'm going to swap them back. So I also have this Saturnworks Micro TRS to TS separator combiner breakout box. So I'm going to try that and see if it'll work with this one. Okay, so I connected the other breakout box. And I don't know if you can see that, but this one's actually labeled tip and ring. So I have the unlatching going to the ring side and the latching going to the tip side. So that works. That's actually not working as it was with the other box. Let me try to flip my polarity switches, and it just puts it in the inverse. The latching switch just doesn't work either way. So let's try to swap the tip and ring side. Okay, and I swapped sides. So the only thing that's working now is momentary switch between the two channels. Latch is not working on either side. But what I'm going for, I want to be able to latch over to the lead channel. See, this should be red in lead channel, which is not doing. And then when I engage the momentary switch, I want that turning off this switch, effectively switching this back to how it is now in crunch mode. And then when I release the switch, this will switch back on how it is now, but that should be red in lead channel. But again, the only thing that's working right now is the momentary latching on the crunch channel. When I switch the latching switch on, that doesn't work, and it's backwards for the switching to how I'd like it. So that is no good, and that is working for the unlatching switch at least. Let's check those. No change on the latching switch. And the polarity switch does its job on here. It just sort of flips the polarity on the SD-2. But again, the latching switch is not working on whichever polarity. So yeah, just to reiterate, I'm almost there where I want to be. This is in crunch mode by default. Switch that on, it switches over to the lead, that's good. And I can momentary switch between the two channels, but what I can't do is switch to lead and then momentary switch back and forth. So it should be disengaged on the momentary switch just like that. So that is good right there. All I'm missing is to be able to engage this and jump back to my crunch channel, but that's not working. So that's all I'm missing.